They like. What's up, y'all? This Relly. I'm back with another video. Yes, and today we got to talk about the expectations for the Dallas Mavericks, right? And this is including expectations for Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, Coach Kidd, and many of the gems that we have to talk about in today's video. But with all that being said, though, we got to really start talking about the Dallas Mavericks. And of course, we got to start off with Luka Doncic because the expectation for Luka Doncic coming off of this MVP caliber season is to once again have a MVP caliber season, right? I think if he can be a little bit more efficient from free throw, this would be what we are expecting from him. Maybe being a little bit more passive or at least more engaging to get Kristaps Porzingis more engaged, which I think is the strategy for Jason Kidd, and get his team involved because they're trying to surround him with shooters. They're trying to surround him with players that could actually space out so he can be like that James Harden tier player, which I think he is already, but just be more or a better version of that. You get what I'm saying? Because he's so young, he has the ability to be better than players he's been compared to, like a James Harden or anybody. You get what I'm saying? Because of his ability to score and how he doesn't care, you know what I'm saying, in a good way. Like, he just don't see any defender that's better than him in terms of stopping him from scoring. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like for Dallas Mavericks, they need Luka Doncic to keep doing that. Like, they need him to progress as a playmaker, which would make it easier for him to score. Now, of course, we got to talk about Kristaps Porzingis because I think it's going to be a very detrimental year for Kristaps Porzingis because, one, he has to prove himself, and two, he has to prove himself because of this new system, right? Coach Kidd has implied that he's going to make sure Kristaps Porzingis is involved, right? Which is what Kristaps Porzingis has been rumored to want. He wants to feel more involved in the system to be a second option. He wants to be the second star, right? And arguably, he feels like he can be the number one option if you put him more in the system, right? Like, not saying he's better than Luka Doncic, but he feels like he can take away the pressure that a lot of people say we need to take away from Luka in order to be successful, right? And I believe it, right? And this is going to be the chance he has, right? Now, of course, Kristaps Porzingis is going to have to show us. I think if he can produce more rebounds, that could be a start. I think if he can this season set the tone defensively again, that will be a even better way to show the culture what he's trying to do. But I think Kristaps Porzingis has a lot to prove. I think a lot of people understand he got a lot to prove. He knows he got a lot to prove. And I think this season will be a great start to set the tone. And in the playoff, when it matters, Kristaps Porzingis is going to show he's a star. You get what I'm saying? He got to show he's a superstar to avoid that Paul George criticism. You get what I'm saying? Now, we, of course, have to talk about those gems I was referring to, right? And I feel like the Dallas Mavericks actually made some very great acquisitions that people don't really talk about, right? One of them being Moses Brown. I think Moses Brown being a player that could potentially be a rim protector at big man that they desperately needed will be heaven sent, right? And then the additions of Sterling Brown and Reggie Bullock, I think they're going to get some of that pressure away from Luka Doncic, right? Like, they need him to take away some of that pressure. So when he sees double teams, he have 3-point threats that can hit them type of shots, right? And I also think Dwight Powell should possibly be shot. I'm not saying he has to be traded. He's not the reason for anything. It's just I would have my options open just to get another or better stretch for there. You get what I'm saying? Because I do think the Dallas Mavericks is looking for more players to space the floor, right? And with Sterling Brown and Reggie Bullock, they do the job. You get what I'm saying? Those are two snipers. You get what I'm saying? Like, it would have been nice if JJ Redick would have came back and didn't retire, but y'all didn't. And y'all reacted to it, right? Not saying y'all have done enough. Y'all do need to make some more moves, obviously. But that was a great start, right? Especially when you see how the league is shaping up, right? When you have a player like Luka Doncic, who is not a bad shooter, but, he's not a Stephen Curry tier, shooter, which everybody can't be that. You get what I'm saying? And Luka Doncic naturally draws double teams. And Luka Doncic, his first instinct on the double team is either kill or realize that since I got two, somebody's open. Why not have everybody else on the perimeter able to shoot threes, because now you punish defenders for double teaming Luka Doncic, but then teams get forced, like they have to, and it's like you make better plays for other players and you get them involved. And now, team playoff games, when it matters, it gets harder and harder to guard a player like Luka. You get what I'm saying? I made that a little bit more complicated than it has to be, but anybody who watch basketball, you understand that dynamic. You get what I'm saying? I also forgot about Tim Hardaway Jr. because Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be very detrimental for the Dallas Mavericks, right? Based off of what we've seen in the playoff, he was insane. He was literally insane. He was a killer, right? And now that he's got paid, he's going to have to keep that going because they're going to need a player like him, a vet who's a sniper, who works well with Luka Doncic, who's proven that. You get what I'm saying? And like I said before, they're going to get more shooters. They're going to get more pieces around Luka Doncic and KP to help them mesh better, especially when it matters in the playoffs. Which leads me to my predictions for the Dallas Mavericks this season, right? I believe, based off of what y'all seeing currently, I think the Dallas Mavericks is going to be a 5th seed in the Western Conference, and I believe they're going to win 55 games, right? I think their ceiling is 55 games, so that's 55-27 as a record, right? I think that is something they can do. I think that's something they can achieve with Jason Kidd. I think with the improvements they're going to do this season, they're hungry, right? Luka Doncic is hungry, and I think the West is actually more wide open than people really believe. I think the East is really the juggernaut this year, which is weird. I think right now, since the Clippers don't have Kawhi, at least they're not going to have Kawhi early. They're not going to have him probably January, February. Golden State, I think they're a little hungry now. They got a lot of pieces. Lakers, of course, is going to be up there. Blazers is a very underrated every year for some weird reason. I think the Mavericks could actually mess around and slip up and be better than the Clippers this season. So, I can imagine them being 4th seed. Like, that's possible. But right now, I can see them currently be a 5th seed, 55 games. Something happens, I can see them be a 4th seed. That's realistic. But, yeah, I think it's being wide open. I don't think they're going to be in play-in. I don't think they're going to be in play-in range, like 8th, 7th seed. I don't think that's going to happen this year. But tell me down in the comments below if you think the Dallas Mavericks is going to be even higher than what I think for a ceiling.
That's Atlantis with that money.